Welcome to Ecom Cowboy. This is D2C's daily show. It's January 8th, Thursday, 2026. We sit at an undisclosed location high atop a gorgeous Austin, Texas. I wish you were here, but at least you're tuning in right now. We're brought to you by our partners Postscript and AMP, and we've got a jam-packed show for you today. Cory Dobbin, founder of Other Side, is going to be with us to talk about the future of digital advertising. TikTok Shop may have just launched a sneaky way to steal Amazon's customers. ChatGPT may not just be taking marketing jobs, but coming for the family doctor. There's a whole lot happening today. And email marketers, beware. Gmail's AI inbox may mean all of our open rates are going to zero. Oh, no. We'll see what we can do about that. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Colin Doherty. Let's give him a big hand.
What is up? How are we doing?
How are you doing, Colin? We missed your hand clap, though. I want to give you a hand clap. There it is. There it is. Colin, I hope that you have seen Cory's Other Side manifesto. Were you able to look at this today?
Oh, yeah. A deep dive.
You did a deep dive? I am, just before he joins us, I'd like to dig into this a little bit for our viewers so they can know what's going on. Essentially, he sets up for us the great stagnation. All of our ad platforms have become walled gardens in some sense. And I think we should just read a little bit because what Cory's got to say, I think all of the D2C community needs to be plugged in on. And I think this guides us into a lot of what we're seeing already with Taylor Holiday talking about Sean's software-enabled agencies and how we need to see the merging of tech in the service industry so that brands hither and thither can survive and thrive. Cory has to say this at the top of his article. Instead of progress, we have watched the industry regress toward closed, walled garden ecosystems where advertisers have less control. Does anybody have less control today than they did years ago? Of course we do. More of a black box than anything else, less visibility and fewer meaningful levers to pull. Brands have adapted, but they have not advanced. Hurts my heart. Instagram CPMs have climbed more than 130% in 5 years, which means your ROI is effectively cut in half, even if everything else stayed the same. And Meta is not alone. With Google's new AI overviews, more than half of all searches now end without a click. Oh, no. Leading to a drop in website traffic across the board. Ads cost more, yet deliver less. Colin, does this ring true for you? To me, as Cory is writing this and I'm reading it, I feel like he's reading my mail. I think this rings true for a lot of brand founders and marketers. How does this resonate with you?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what we've been seeing. And he hit the nail on the head here where there's going to be less customization. There's going to be less toggles to pull. And it's basically going to turn into budgets. How much money do you want to spend for this thing? This is going to be the total number of dollars that you're going to put into it. And then you're going to have to trust and let AI do the rest. And so it's a scary new frontier that we're entering into, but I don't think we're going to the original way where you could, I mean, Chris, I don't know if you remember this. You probably remember this a little bit, but in the OG days of Meta, you used to be able to target specifically by household income bands. So you used to be able to really dial down, this is who I want to go after. That's no longer the case. It's just, hey, fingers crossed. Let's trust them. This is my budget. I hope it works.
And I think there's a lot of leading voices in our industry who would push back and say, hey, the algo, Andromeda, Meta's better at this than we are. We should have our controls taken away. I think there's a lot of voices there that would push back right now. And I don't think that, I mean, I do think that Meta is probably better than me, but I think the point that Cory gets into later on in this article is very valid. I think the larger issue is we have a number of walled garden systems that we're working inside of. Wouldn't it be wonderful if somehow, some way, there could be some kind of connective tissue that was wrought between the lot of them? Somebody sees me on Google, somebody's searching for something related to my product. I'm then able to enhance my bids when they go on Instagram for that specific person, or they're querying something on Reddit regarding the niche that I function within, for the persona that I'm after. What he gets into later on here is that he's working out some way by which the customer's journey through the various interwebs that we all navigate every day, somehow that can be optimized to ultimately get people to the checkout and bring more dollars in our pocket. I think that's the bigger story that to me creates a lot of hope for what I think we could all use in our industry. I really like the thrust of where he's going for, but I definitely feel the pain. I think we all feel the pain because a lot of us, we're not necessarily thriving. Maybe hopefully we're surviving and unsure of where to head next in 2026. Let's keep reading here. One channel cannot carry the weight of the entire customer journey. For most brands, performance now means survival. Slowly redefining their goals down to a break-even state hurts. Creative freedom has been traded for predictable, feed-friendly formats. The result is a culture of micro-optimization where creativity is measured in click-through rates and every ounce of originality is A/B tested into sameness. The modern customer does not make decisions in a single moment or in a single medium. They move through a world of screens, sounds, and surfaces, and every one of these touch points shapes how they see a brand. The research has been consistent for years. What is missing is the industry's willingness to build around it. Tell me, Colin, you've probably seen how you navigate, how your fiance navigates your friends. When people shop anymore, are you seeing them in multiple places before you make a purchase? Or is it one Instagram ad that does it for you? What's your digital native shopping experience look like?
For sure, yeah. You're seeing multiple before you actually make that purchase. You also have to account for the fact that people are starting to remove some platforms as they start to get older. I no longer have some of those platforms that are mentioned before. So you physically cannot target me with ads on there simply because I don't have those anymore. And so you kind of have to be everywhere where you could possibly try to find your certain demographic, your certain audience. If you really wanted to go after me specifically, very aggressively, you would target me with Twitter ads very specifically. But this idea that you're going to be super, super heavy one platform also leads you to be super vulnerable. So we've seen this. I'm sure Chris has seen this, where friends get into a really tough situation where Meta is not really working for you that day, or isn't really feeling great, and they're like, oh, you're temporarily restricted for the day, the week, the month. You have to appeal this restriction. And we've seen guys get absolutely clipped with this because Meta at the end of the day is 80-90% of their driver for their business. That just got wiped off the table because the platform decided that you can no longer advertise there. That is a super, super vulnerable, scary place to be in.
I think for me, I've always, as most of us are, I've always been so meta dependent simply because I think it's the best opportunity. It's the best advertising machine that is available to us. And so I don't feel comfortable, like you said. I don't feel comfortable placing all of my bets in one place, lest something happen, like you brought up. I get taken down for some reason. I'd love to be able to feel more confident about placing my bets in other platforms, but I haven't, simply because I think this is where my best buy is. We've got Cory joining us now. Cory, I am super excited to bring you on and talk about this. I think most brands are playing a game now where they feel like they cannot win. CPMs are up, levers are being removed. Sometimes it feels like we're just a donation to the metaverse in some sense. What I love is that we've got you here now, and you're going to help us not fall victim to the walled garden system that has caused this great stagnation. Let's all welcome Cory with a big hand clap. Yes. Cory, give us your perspective on what you've been building here. Bring us into the pain, and also just give us a little more color on what this actually is that you're building for the entire industry. Cory, I think your mic is out.
Check.
There we go. We got you
Love
now.
it. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know. First of all, thanks for having me, by the way.
Of course.
The production is amazing. I'm blown away. But I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth reading the manifesto. I'm not really sure what else to add beyond that. But yeah, I mean, like, effectively, I think everyone feels it, but doesn't really want to talk about it. And that's like, yes, Meta is the best algorithm on earth. It's incredibly smart. It is doing a lot of the right things. But at the end of the day, you know, it answers to its shareholders. And so it's going to balance, it's always going to balance getting you the best performance possible against getting shareholder value. And like you said earlier, their advertising back in the day used to be very freeing. It used to be really, really fun. When I started, you know, I was testing like using different bid modifiers of different percentage differences with very specific audiences, households, income, all that stuff. And you would get really interesting results, and you could, you know, hyper optimize your campaigns to perfection. And now it's very different. It's very sort of set and forget in a way. And Mark Zuckerberg has actually said that he intends to go further down this rabbit hole, right? Like, they've been very public about the fact that they want to go all in on AI and have you effectively give it your ad creative and, you know, cross your fingers, give it your creative, your budget, cross your fingers and hope that it works out. And so, and obviously, you know, you have the issues of, if your ad portfolio is not diversified, then, you know, what happens tomorrow if Meta is no longer part of the picture? You know, ad accounts get banned for no reason. They're always up against the wall with legislation. And so if you build your entire brand on only one channel, it becomes a big risk. And so what do you do? And the answer is not much. You know, like, you know, go to Google, you spend some money. It's obviously a different intent platform. And so you can spend money, but you can't necessarily scale it the same way you can Meta. And then, okay, now we're going to go to TikTok, and we're going to add some budget there. And then, you know, we'll go to Snap, we'll do some Microsoft ads now. And then suddenly you have 6 different platforms. You have 6 different agencies or people specialized in these. You have a ton of different channels that are all disconnected from one another. There's just not really a good methodology for diversifying your spend once you've already found and scaled success in your, like, you know, core, I would say, Meta and Google for everyone, really, right? And so other side is sort of like the solution to that problem in a way.
Love that. And I think as you talk, you are hitting on a lot of our pain points that we feel. You're hitting on a lot of our pain points. I want to give my money to Meta. At the same time, I feel scared. I feel risky because of what could happen there. I'd love to place these other bets, but even more, I'd like them to work synchronously in harmony. And I'd like there to be some kind of maestro that is there coordinating the entire thing. Tell me, Cory, I don't think I understand yet what this is with the connected performance ads, with the performance grid. Is there a software that you've built that's running in the background? Is there a service element to this? Let's say I come to you and say, Cory, help me fix this for me. What does this actually look like if we were to do business together?
Yeah, all very valid questions. It's sort of like a new frontier. So there's been a lot of sort of like education that has to go along with all of this. First of all, I'll say the word programmatic. Effectively, what we do is programmatic ads, but it's done in a very unique way. And so when I say programmatic, a lot of e-com brands will, they get a little bit scared. It's a little bit of a dirty word. In the past, if you've tested programmatic, it probably means you went to Taboola, spent a couple dollars, didn't work, left, wrote off display kind of thing, And so programmatic has always been just this industry full of like antiquated strategies where we're optimizing for impressions, we're spending a lot of money, but who cares about conversions, right? That said, programmatic channels present a huge opportunity with inventory. There's tons and tons and tons of reach. Effectively, anyone that doesn't exist within Meta's ecosystem can be reached, even if they don't have a phone, through programmatic ads. And so how do we take this opportunity and build it for e-com brands? Digitally native brands really want to find performance, right? Like performance is very important. You spend $1, you want $1 back, you want $2 back. And so you want to build programmatic in a way where e-com brands can confidently spend their money there. And so how do you do that? First of all, we need to figure out performance. We need to figure out reporting and attribution, and we need to package it in a way where not just package it in like the sexy, this works way, but it actually works, and you can demonstrate that to brands. And so what we did is we built a system where it's software in the background, but agency in the foreground. I guess it's a managed service. I run the ads on a brand's behalf using our systems that we built. And it's effectively a system that sits on top of all of these different channels. Let's say connected TV, display, native, programmatic audio like Spotify, mobile app ads, AppLovin, I'm sure everyone's familiar, even digital out of home. All of these disparate programmatic channels we run under one roof, and they're all connected together. So this gives us a few benefits. First of all, we can target people across channel, which is relatively unheard of. So to give you some context, we could target someone in the top of funnel on Netflix and then retarget that person in the bottom of funnel on Candy Crush on their phone or something like that, and get really interesting funnels going where it feels almost like a 2008 era meta kind of, where we're just getting really creative with our targeting. We're building funnels for very specific people, very specific behaviors. And then also, because they're all connected, they're sharing data, they're optimizing together, and they're learning more quickly. And so traditional learning phases in programmatic are 4 to 6 months, these super long periods where you spend $1 and you're not going to see profit until half a year later. Now we're looking at like 4 to 6 weeks. And another component of that is we actually built an algorithm that we bolt on top of all of this that helps make a lot of those bidding decisions in real time, very similar to Meta's algorithm, or exactly what AppLovin did with mobile app ads. We're just doing it across the entire programmatic ecosystem. And so because this is a very new thing, it's very complex, we decided just to call it connected performance ads, because it really is a new thing, in my opinion. It's very different. It functions differently. It's kind of a new novel concept. And so I think it makes sense to call it something different than just programmatic ads, because it's quite an antiquated title.
Absolutely.
Nice. Cory, and you talked a little bit about, Netflix ads. You talked a little bit about the AppLovin ads. I know that you're talking about bringing all this together as basically one ecosystem, but is there something that you're really bullish on or really, really excited about as a channel in 2026 that maybe isn't Meta?
Yeah, I mean, I clearly have incentive to say this, but connected performance ads for sure.
Yes.
I mean, plain and simple, connected TV is really, really strong if you know how to do it right. I've run MMM studies and geolift studies with brands that prove it has actual impact and lift. And then when you pair that with traditionally overlooked channels like display, massive reach on display. If you can get around all of the low quality traffic, which is what we're kind of building to, is finding that premium traffic, targeting those people. Display is very strong as well. And so when we connect those two, what we're seeing work really well is connected TV in the top of funnel, raising awareness, and then anyone who we get like an extended view from, or multiple views from those people, anyone exposed to CTV in the top of funnel, they get retargeted with display so that the message follows them around the web. And we're finding really good performance with that. And that's just one example of some like creative funnels that we can build that are working. So I think this isn't a replacement for Meta or Google or anything like that. Like, I definitely think most brands should start with Meta and Google, but at some point you're going to feel the pain and you're going to know in your heart it's time to diversify your budget. I think that it's built to be and is very quickly becoming the best solution to do that.
There's a few things that I love about this, Cory. Number one, the branding. You crushed on rebranding programmatic. Okay. You've crushed in that regard. Connected performance, the verbiage. Okay. So kudos to you on that. Number one. Number two, the fact that this isn't just a software in the background that I, as a brand owner or as a marketing lead, interact with myself, but the fact that you are involved personally. That gives me great confidence. Okay. I have known of you, Cory, although this is the first time for us to talk.
Shocking.
I have known of you since your booming days,
wow.
through our mutual friend, Will Bailey.
He
said, this guy, Cory, he's a killer. He's a killer. He's going places, which has proven to be the case. And number three, the fact that this allows me to navigate other platforms, channels, placements that I'm not already taking advantage of. Example, connected TV. The thing that's always scary to me, brand side, is, hey, we want to explore this opportunity on said platform, on these various platforms. Oh no, I don't know it. I've got to go find another agency to work with for each one of these just to do a test. It becomes cumbersome to enter into the entire process itself. So the fact that outside of where we're all spending money already, you've got what I would consider in some sense a one-stop shop for, let's test this new up-branded, upscaled, sexy version of programmatic. We can place it in Cory's hands. This is going to work. To me, that's a real win for people who are going to be doing business with you. Colin, does that resonate with you? I mean, that would give me great confidence, just being brand side.
For sure. And then Cory, I had a follow-up question for you. Is there any connected TV campaigns that you've seen that maybe you haven't done where you are like, I absolutely love this campaign. I think this was a home run. I wish I would have thought about it.
That's an interesting question. I mean, the interesting thing about connected TV is that we all see so many CTV ads every day, and you probably don't regularly think about it. And so you're constantly exposed to these ads, and you're probably thinking, this is amazing. But it's really hard to remember what those are. And so that's why when we start connecting the dots for people across the web, it starts to become a lot more powerful. But I actually noticed that it's very hard to find resources for like the best CTV ads. So I tend to start working on a sort of a bank, some sort of white paper or bank or whatever, where we could just build CTV ads, put them in there, and then fill it over time and just get like a really big resource of like the best CTV ads over time. I think everyone would benefit from that for sure. But I think to answer your question, I think maybe one of the most surprising things that people find out is that CTV ads don't need to be this like really super polished commercial that you spent $100,000 on. What we're actually seeing work for a lot of brands is we're just straight up taking their meta ads, cropping it and resizing it and shortening it for CTV. And these like direct response performance driven ad formats are actually working on TV as well, because I think people are getting programmed to, interpret and behave a certain way based on their social media engagements. And so I think these ads actually have a reasonable impact on CTV as well, which I think a lot of people find surprising.
You've sold me now, Cory. I thought I'm going to have to go shoot a $50,000 commercial. Now you're telling me I can repackage my meta ads that are already performing. I'm sold. I will say, just as an addendum, the thing that I love about CTV is it allows me to actually explain to my parents and my mother-in-law and my father-in-law what it is that I do. We see a commercial come on. It's like, look, see that? That's Collar & Co. They're offering 20% off. And where you go to a website to buy that, that's what e-commerce is. It's buying things on the internet. That's an example. So I love that about what we're doing and what you're doing. Cory, what I would love, I know you're a busy man. We don't want to keep you all day long. I'd love for you to tell us, just for everyone that can hear my voice and for everybody that's reading the article that you just put out, what's next steps? We want to work with Cory. We want to explore it. What do we do now?
Pretty easy. You just go to the website, jointheotherside.com, fill out the contact form. We'll get a call in the books. Short and sweet. I just figure out what you're looking for, tell you very plainly if I'm able to help or not. If so, we can launch pretty quickly. Usually within 7 to 10 business days, we could push ads live. So very straightforward. We'll put together a strategy that says exactly based on your needs, what we're going to do, what channels we'll run. We can work together to refine that and then get things moving.
We're going to show your website, Cory, after you leave here, because that thing is a work of art.
Thank you.
I think
I made it myself, believe it or not, and I'm not a web designer.
I do. I totally believe it. And I love this. I love this about you. One can tell by the artwork behind you and by looking at your website, you are not only a spreadsheet person, you are an artiste.
Very true, yes.
The best marketers need both halves of those brains to be working in concert.
I think so.
Cory, we appreciate you joining us. Let's give him a big hand clap as he leaves. And thank you, sir. Thank you for your service to the entire industry. Thank you, Cory. Colin, I think this gives me significant, not just interest, it gives me significant hope for being able to confidently place spend in other places. Go to his other website. Go to Join Other Side. That's just his personal website, Carson. This gives me great hope about being able. There it is. Look at that thing. Look at that. Wait, look at those. Look at those. Look at those icons. Look at those brands.
Disney. Ooh,
I'm excited.
Love it.
Disney, who
Absolutely
actually.
love it.
Disney, who's releasing vertical video on their platform. This gives me look at that. Proven performance. This gives me great hope that maybe I could start allocating some spend in other places and it actually perform and not have to wait 4 to 6 months. Any takeaways for you?
This is also just a phenomenally done website. It reminds me a ton about the Shopify winter editions that we reviewed. He's going in that same vein of just really beautiful typography and visuals. I wanted to talk briefly about this one connected TV ad that I've seen from Byrna or Brenna. They're a gun manufacturing company, and obviously they cannot show guns on TV or advertise guns on television. And so the way that they went around this is they used a banana, and it's one of the funniest commercials that I've seen. And it's like a minute and a half, and they just talk about the entire commercial. And it's like, yeah, this banana will help you with all of this stuff. And then they're like, could you imagine if this wasn't, they end the commercial. They're just like, imagine if this wasn't a banana, go to Byrna.com. And you're like, oh my God, that's so memorable. It was so great. I was genuinely like, that's one of the best connected TV ads I've seen in so long.
That is hilarious and shows true creativity. I think Corey's obviously focused in an area that a lot of us are not. And speaking of focus, we're going to move on to postscript here, Carson. Focus is an amazing thing. When you spend your time solely obsessed about a singular opportunity in your work, be it a metric, be it a channel, results come forth. If all you can do is eat, sleep, and drink one thing, that's what Postscript does. Postscript is my partner of choice when it comes to SMS marketing. And why is that? They're the only company I know who will tell you our goal is to make SMS your #1 revenue channel in your entire e-commerce business. That to me is totally unique. I've never had anyone else say that to me. And Alex Beller, president at Postscript, told me that himself. And I said, Alex, are you sure? Are you sure? Do you really want? That's the goal, is to make SMS? Yes, that is the goal. That's what we're endeavoring to do. And I'll tell you what, they did it for me. They've done it for me at multiple spots where we have taken SMS from, maybe a few percentages of revenue monthly to 10, 15 more. And I think if you're looking for other places to shake out a few dollars in 2026, don't we all want that and need that? Yes, we do. If you're looking for that, SMS is going to be a great place to find it. And you should go to Postscript and talk to them. Right now, they've got some SMS benchmarks. You can see the URL below. You go there, you'll be able to figure out, where am I today for my industry, my revenue level? Where can we go? What's normal? And can Postscript get me there? The answer is yes. Thank you to our sponsors at Postscript. We've got more news to talk about. I wonder, is this TikTok's sneaky plan to steal Amazon customers? TikTok doesn't just say they want your attention anymore. They want your entire bank account. And they're coming with some sneaky ways to do it. TikTok gift cards have now launched. Colin, what is your impression when you see this story? What does it mean to you?
Yeah, I think one of the easiest ways to gift people is an Amazon gift card, just because it's so applicable. And the older generation has kind of been accustomed to, like, a default is, all right, we can give an Amazon gift card and, little Johnny can get whatever he wants on Amazon. But now the older generations keeps hearing from their kids and or grandkids about this thing called TikTok that they're on all the time. And so now you're offering the generation that basically has all of the money an ability to buy a gift card for their grandchild or child to that platform. It's a great lever to pull. I didn't think about this at all, and this is absolutely genius. This is going to be a great allocation of effort and capital, because you're pulling from some of the wealthiest of Americans and then pushing it down into the users of TikTok, which genuinely skews younger.
What I think is so smart about this, like you said, what I think is so smart about this is the constant one-liner I will hear when it comes to TikTok Shop, pushing your endeavors there as a brand. Amazon halo effect. That's always the line. Amazon halo effect. Hopefully you break even on TikTok Shop itself. Hopefully you're not losing money. Hopefully you're making at least some money, but the total effect will be halo, and that will be mainly seen on Amazon, which also I think is largely known as let me get it for as cheap as possible, the best price as possible. That's similar to TikTok Shop in a way, because it's so discount heavy, lower revenue levels in general, because it skews young. I think this is super smart, like you said, because it is incentivizing now. If you haven't already joined the platform, you should. Here's this gift card. You have to in order to spend it. But also it gives grandparents and parents a way to easily give the younger people in their life something that they actually want. I want to spend something on this app. And as far as I'm aware, that money it lives inside of TikTok Shop, meaning in some sense, TikTok has become a kind of bank. The money stays inside the app. I'm thinking of Starbucks in some sense and how they've used their gift cards to live inside the app, and that money stays there while you use it or before you use it. I don't know if TikTok is going to be shut down in the United States. I don't think it will be. Oren John would tell us there's no way that's going to happen. I trust him on these kind of things. This, though, in general, very bullish on. And I think we're going to see a lot more gift cards given out next Christmas as a result of this. Not just Amazon, but now TikTok Shop. Colin, did you see what happened with David Protein's recent marketing campaign?
I did.
I didn't know what to make of it because I didn't know what it was about. But Phil gave us some great cultural context here. You know, I've seen brands spend $50,000 on a video, looks like a movie, but converts like a car wreck. If you have to explain the campaign, if you have to add explanation in so that people know what it's about, you got to explain the joke. It isn't funny. And ultimately, it probably doesn't lead to numbers in your bank account. Phil gave us a little window into what's going on here. Who is this person that they're featuring? I don't even know who she is. Julia Fox. Do you know who Julia Fox is?
Yeah, she was the main girl in Uncut Gems. So she's an actress. She was amazing in that movie, by the way. Fantastic movie, as an aside.
I wasn't aware of who she was. When I think of Uncut Gems, I think of Uncut Gems, which I think is probably something different. But
that's her.
Is it the same person?
That's her. That's her.
Okay. Well, thanks for clearing that up. Probably I wasn't the target audience for this campaign in the first place, but Phil writes this: men disappoint. You have to actually care about Julia Fox not missing dating men and identifying as pansexual to understand this campaign, which is why it's a miss. Most people will look at the billboard and not even know who it is. The billboard reads, for those who can't read it, men disappoint. Next billboard, Julia is laying there. David satisfies. Okay, which I mean, I like that. It's clever, but I think the point is that it's not clear. I don't know who this lady is. I don't know what's the point of it in total. My guess would be that the new bronze line that they're pushing, they're hoping will reach women. That's my guess. Is it'll be a little more feminine friendly. I like that take. David, in general, to me, they are an intensely biohacker, bro-friendly, gym bro-friendly. Hey, we want to get more females inside of our ecosystem purchasing our product. I like that. But the campaign itself is a bit of a miss for me. I don't even know who she is.
Yeah, I think you nailed it really early on, where if you have to explain the joke is a miss. And this was kind of, I love David. I think they're delicious. I absolutely love the company. I love the founders. I love all of the marketing they've done so far. I just want to preface this by saying all of that. I want them to absolutely crush and do $100 million, $300 million, $1 billion. But this is an example of being too cute. You can't be too cute and then it doesn't land and there's this awkward like, oh, well, let me explain it to you. This is actually kind of what this means. And so I think it's a swing and a miss here, but you don't have to worry about this for them. They have a ton more at-bats. This is not in any way, shape, or form going to be the last at-bat for them, the last campaign for them, or the last big billboard for them. I would imagine they're going to just take this on the chin, move forward, and absolutely just crush. Just like what you said with the new line. I think there's a lot that they can play around with that and just have an absolute home run with that new line.
I will say this. I didn't get the billboard, but I did see Julia Fox's video that she put out on her own Instagram, which we're not going to show it because I'm not sure it's safe for work, but incredibly well done. Incredibly well done. On that side, I think it was a home run because obviously they're tapping into her audience. They are, which one would think would skew female heavy. It is provocative. I think that's safe to say. You can go look at her Instagram in your own time. And it definitely gets the point across. And even though it's a staged commercial, she has an incredible way of turning it at the end that is genuinely authentic. On that side, I thought it was incredible. I love the push. I think it's smart for them to push female friendly, especially with this new line. Olivia Cory made what I think is a very appropriate summation of who David is as a brand. Carson, bring this tweet up. This is from Olivia Cory. She's describing David's brand. Look at David, who just launched a competitive product to Bear Bells. That's the new bar. Try the brand exercise. If they were a person, who would they be? For Bear Bells, it's hard. David, easy. David's done a great job of defining their brand. And I think right now, at least pre this campaign, who's largely eating their bars. David Protein is 6'2", goes to Equinox, listens to Huberman. He is better than you, which I love. I love that. I think there's other elements of this campaign that are doing really well. The billboard, I just didn't get. The billboard doesn't make or break the campaign in total. I think they've got an incredibly bright future. We all know that. And I'm excited to see where they go from here. I want to try the new bars. I like the first bars. I want to try the new bars. I like that. Next, when it comes to moving forward here to AMP, when it comes to scale, especially in 2026, we want to be able to scale with confidence. Don't we all want to be able to scale with confidence? I think so. In order to do that, you need to know your numbers. You need to know your numbers, especially no matter where you are in the totem pole of your company, whether you're at the tippity top or you're at the very bottom. There needs to be a central place where you can go to know what's my CAC, what's my LTV, not having everything spread across various sheets, be they Excel, be they Google, hither and thither all across the company. Who has the actual answers about how we're doing? There needs to be a central place where you can get that answer. And that is afforded to you by AMP's platform. Their tool, Lifetimely, one of my favorite in the entire Shopify ecosystem, not only related just to Shopify, but also Amazon. They've got a whole platform of tools that are going to help you know your numbers, make it easy on yourself, and be able to scale with confidence. Perfect for board level reporting, especially as a mid-level, bottom-level marketer. Boss man wants to know, where are we at? Where are we going? How are we trending toward the end of the month? You take them to one easy-to-view dashboard where everything lives and sits. It's going to be great for you, make you look smart, make you be able to scale with confidence. Thank you to our partners, AMP, for being a part of the show. You should go use amp.com, sign up now, make it a great 2026. Colin, the new food pyramid. You saw this website. I love this. I love this. The government has finally admitted the food pyramid was a lie. It was wrong. This is the biggest regulatory shift for health brands in 40 years. And I think this points us in the direction of who is going to get rich or go bust as a health brand, supplement brand in 2026. What do you think about this when you're looking at this website, how it presents itself? And does it make you want to eat healthier or eat more like you already are?
I love it. I absolutely love that they flipped it. And I thought it was hilarious that, I don't know if you've seen this, but South Park has already parodied this.
Stop.
And RFK shared on Twitter yesterday the parodied clip when he released the new flipped pyramid of when they previously parodied him. I'm like, dude, you're just leaning into the culture. I love that. I also love the fact that they're up to dating, the standards for an American diet. I think it's pretty obvious that Americans are not wonderful on our diet, but like you just said, this is a wonderful indicator for who's going to win as we're moving forward. If you're at the top of the pyramid, you should be really focusing. Those are going to be the absolute crushers. It's going to be really hard from the bottom of the pyramid to win, and also to get kind of that push from, regulatory and above that you should be supported. So,
Yeah, the real food movement is now federal policy.
Yeah.
Real food, whole foods, I think, our brethren in the ancestral movements, the primal health movement. They're probably rejoicing today. Actually, I talked with Dean Brennan earlier, CEO at Heart and Soil. He is rejoicing. He loves this. They have been combating at Heart and Soil. They've been combating what they call SADistan, SAD, Standard American Diet. They've been combating the Standard American Diet for a long time. And I think you bring up a great point too, that it's so interesting to see. It's so interesting to see the government lean into the culture of memes and of parroting what they're going to do next. And then they actually invert the pyramid. I think winners are going to be beef organs, raw honey, tallow, getting rid of seed oils. If your niche, your product lives among that community that already thrives on all of that dogma, I think you're going to be a winner. And if you're not there right now, maybe you're adjacent to all of that community, those people already. Why not open a few marketing angles into that? Why not play into that a little bit? There's a whole invested customer base where they've been committed and convinced on all of this for years. If you sit adjacent to them, why not open up a little marketing angle into all that and take in a little more revenue in 2026? Is that fair? Is it too hard? Do you think people will be able to make that pivot?
I don't think so. And I think there's a lot of really great marketing campaigns to be had around this. Like, just one example would be, someone who's at the top of the pyramid doing a campaign where we're at the top of the pyramid and we know it. And you talk about this whole ethos around why you're the top of the pyramid in the food chain, in your category, all these things. There's a ton of really amazing marketing and creative ideas now involved with this pyramid that you can use, that's all top of mind. And I think it would be in your best interest to move forward with that, and then get yourself as close to those brands as physically possible that are going to be at that top of the pyramid moving forward.
Speaking of health, Colin, OpenAI Health just launched. It is 100% always available. Your doctor's expensive and busy. Fair. Your AI is free, knows your entire medical history. The triage game has changed. Why does this matter to us? AI is not just coming for marketing jobs. It's not just coming for marketing workflows. It's coming for your pediatrician. To me, I never had the thought. I had some inkling. Yeah, AI is going to disrupt the medical health industry profession. But I never had the thought that it would come so quickly and perhaps lead to how many people already interacting with ChatGPT today, just talking to OpenAI Health instead of actually going in to check in with their doctor. I don't know what integrations they're going to be with Apple or other products. I don't know. But to me, it's fascinating to see AI develop this quickly and perhaps disrupt an entire healthcare industry.
I absolutely love it. I mean, this is the next frontier that we're reaching into. My dream is, a lot of these LLMs, they start to integrate with all the wearables. I got a Whoop here. They start to integrate with all these wearables. And then every single morning, instead of you going in platform, we enter my dream, which is the Jarvis level, where you just have a voice tell you every single morning, hey, just to let you know, your resting heart rate is XYZ. You slept, you have a 90% sleep. Maybe, do the extra workout today, or you had a 50% sleep, you should probably try to cycle in a nice little nap sometime in here. I've already looked at your calendar. There's a gap between your 2 meetings. There's a 15-minute gap. We can schedule a small 5-minute little recharge nap. And this is kind of how I'm viewing all of this stuff moving forward, is it's all encompassing instead of just, you go to your doctor once a quarter, twice a year, and it's like, hey, how are you feeling? Is everything going great? And you're like, yep. And they're like, awesome. Can I have your insurance? Yeah, here you go. Anything else? Yeah, man, make sure you drink water. Okay,
Drink
cool.
water.
Anything else? Are you getting steps in? Yeah, I do, like a couple steps. Just keep doing that. Oh, cool. Thanks, man. Do you want like an insight into my daily life at all? No, I actually have 27,000 patients. I really can't get personalized with you whatsoever. That's cool. I got to run though. We've been here for 15 minutes. I booked off 10 minutes for you. I got to go look at this kid. And so we have to enter in to such a better age of monitoring our health on like a daily basis. I couldn't be more excited for this.
The shift is really from sick care to optimization care. It's
100%.
going from I'm really bad, I need somebody to help me now. I need a professional to get me back up to status, homeostasis, wherever that is. It's going from sick care to optimization care. I think it's probably a win for the general American health situation among us all, wherever we sit on the age range. I haven't been to a doctor in 5 years, I don't think. That's a long time. I probably should go. Or maybe I should just get a wearable and I should talk to chat. And then, maybe that would be a better move. Anyway, I'll go to the doctor at some point. But I think this trend's healthy for the consumer, and also a lot of opportunity for brands to integrate with what Chad is doing inside of a wearable. I think it's probably going to grow that base of people who are biohackers, listening to Huberman, interested in optimizing their daily care instead of just getting looked at whenever they're sick. It's a good point. I should go to the doctor, but I'm going to get a wearable. Email marketing's getting disrupted. Everything's getting disrupted. The open rate, which used to be such an important metric, may have just died. Did it just die? Gmail's now summarizing our 1,000 word emails into 2 sentences. There's a new inbox. Gmail now has a new AI inbox. I don't know what this means for email marketing in general, but Google is now even more the gatekeeper than it was before. What do you think of this when you read this? What do you make of it as far as marketing for brands inside, be they software, be they whatever they're doing? What do you make of this, Colin?
I think it's interesting, but I don't think it is a huge leap forward. I think it's going to be really hard to change people's natural SOP inside of how they check their email. I mean, I've checked my email the same way for the last 10 years. And to really pull out that learned behavior and then rip and replace that and then put in a new learned behavior, I think it's going to be hard. People are still going to want to see the full message. They're not going to want to miss anything. And then you also have to really trust the fact that this AI summarization piece is 100% accurate every single time. And so I don't trust it there yet. I'm going to read my full emails, and I'm always going to be reading my full emails moving forward. But I don't think marketers have to worry about it too much. I don't think it's a massive jump, but email's huge. Email is always going to be a big thing, and I don't see that this will disrupt it too much.
Here's where I will push back. Because email's always been regarded as highest ROI dollar for dollar inside of the marketing ecosystem. Number 2, this just happened for search. It just happened. It just happened for search. Google took their system for how we've all been trained to navigate the internet. I want to know about something. I type it in. Then I scroll through the available options to me. I pick which one I like. Maybe I navigate one to a few Maybe I buy, maybe I don't, maybe I just learn. But now we know there's a lot less clicks than there used to be. Maybe that doesn't mean there's less revenue, but there's definitely less directly attributable revenue for search, at least in the way that we have been used to it. This gives me pause, gives me cause for concern. I have been heavily involved in email, not just over the years, but even in the past 6 months. And it gives me cause for concern. Am I no longer writing for the click? Am I now writing for the summary? I think for white collar workers who have a work email account that's very important to accomplishing their job, of course, they're going to read everything that comes to them. But some of us may have many thousands of unread emails inside our personal inboxes. I think I'm sitting at least 10 right now, 10,000 unread emails. And I'm subscribed to anything and everything. I don't know who and how I got all of these email subscriptions. When you go over to my promotions tab, there is a whole slew. There's a whole slew of emails. Not only did I never see, but I never even had the chance to see them because they're in the promotions tab. Maybe I click over there once or twice. There's going to be a few trusted brands that make it into my inbox. But now, to me, it even seems that inbox is in question. And now we have to find a way to get inside of the summary. This gives me pause, gives me cause for concern. I think it would be great to have Jimmy Kim on this show and talk about it. What do you think, Colin?
I would love that. Yeah, I think we need his expert on this. Also, it scares me the fact that you have 10,000 unread emails.
Oh, brother.
I'm an inbox zero guy. So
You're
I have no unread emails. If I haven't responded to your email, it's because I don't want to. So 10,000 just scares me.
I think it's good that we're linked up. It is only 10,000 because I have literally deleted my entire email multiple times. I have deleted, I get up to 20, 40,000. Eventually I just say select all, delete everything, and just start over. So right now I feel pretty good about 10,000 unread, but I think it's only going to grow. Especially you give me a summation inside my personal inbox, it's only going to grow now. I'm going to click and open less. Jimmy, we need your expertise on this. It's January 8th. We're at the top of the hour. I loved having Cory Dobbin on. I want to learn more about the interesting things he's doing on programmatic. We've got an exciting day ahead of us. Postscript AMP, thank you to our partners. This is the Ecom Cowboy, D2C's daily show, where we talk about one thing and one thing only, what's now and next in e-commerce, so marketers like you can survive and thrive. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.